Welcome to Barbaras Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm excited to share today's top stories with you. We're starting off with a significant development in the region of South Asia, where Afghanistan and Pakistan have agreed to an immediate ceasefire after peace talks in Doha. This comes after a week of intense border clashes between the two countries, which resulted in the loss of dozens of lives and hundreds of injuries. According to reports, the talks were mediated by Qatar and Turkey and were led by Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Muhammad Asif and his Afghan counterpart Mullah Muhammad Yaqub. The ceasefire agreement includes a commitment from both sides to refrain from hostile actions against each other and to not provide support to groups operating against the government of Pakistan. The clashes between Afghanistan and Pakistan were triggered by Islamabad's demands that Kabul rein in militants who had stepped up attacks in Pakistan, allegedly operating from havens in Afghanistan. The Taliban has denied giving haven to these militants and has accused the Pakistani military of spreading misinformation about Afghanistan. It's worth noting that the situation on the ground remains complex, with both sides having different accounts of the events leading up to the ceasefire agreement. However, this development is a positive step towards reducing tensions and promoting stability in the region. The ceasefire agreement also comes as a relief to civilians who have been affected by the violence, including 3 local cricketers who were killed in military strikes in Paktika province, prompting Afghanistan to withdraw from a cricket tournament in Pakistan. As we continue to monitor the situation, it's clear that there are still many challenges ahead for both countries. But for now, the ceasefire agreement is a welcome development, and we hope that it will pave the way for further dialogue and cooperation between Afghanistan and Pakistan. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbaras Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbaras Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're glad you're joining us again for this middle segment of our show. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating story about a unique library that has been a symbol of cooperation and friendship between the United States and Canada. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House, located on the border of Vermont and Quebec, has been a beloved institution for over a century, welcoming visitors from both countries to share in the joy of literature, culture, and community. As we delve into this story, I want to acknowledge that it's a complex issue with different perspectives. We'll strive to present a fair and balanced view, avoiding any bias or sensationalism. Our goal is to provide you with a thoughtful and informative discussion, encouraging you to think critically about the topic at hand. The Haskell Free Library and Opera House was built in 1901 by Martha Stewart Haskell, a Canadian who married an American, as a gift to both communities. This stunning building straddles the border, with its grand front entrance facing the United States and its rear exit leading into Canada. For generations, people from both countries have crossed the border freely, attending events, borrowing books, and enjoying each other's company in this beautiful library. However, recent changes to border regulations have affected the library, requiring Canadians to report to a legal U.S. port of entry before visiting the library. This new rule has been met with disappointment and sadness from the community, who feel that it undermines the spirit of cooperation and friendship that the library represents. I'd like to share some perspectives from people involved in this story. Sylvie Boudreau, the president of the library's board of trustees, expressed her emotional response to the changes, saying, "It's like when you're losing a friend, a dear friend. You know, like, you backstab me and it's gonna take a while before I forgive you." Jody Stone, the mayor of Stansted, Quebec, also shared his thoughts, stating, "To think that the library, because of one little sidewalk, would have that big of an impact on border security, for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense." As we consider this story, it's essential to acknowledge the complexities of border security and the need for regulations. However, it's also crucial to recognize the value of community and cultural exchange, which institutions like the Haskell Free Library and Opera House embody. In conclusion, the story of the Haskell Free Library and Opera House serves as a reminder of the power of cooperation, friendship, and cultural exchange. As we navigate the complexities of our globalized world, it's essential to find balance between security concerns and community needs. We hope this story has inspired you to think critically about these issues and appreciate the importance of institutions like this library. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbaras Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbaras Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring you a developing story that's making headlines around the world. The United States and Colombia are at odds over a recent decision by President Donald Trump to cut off aid to the South American nation. This move comes after Trump accused Colombian President Gustavo Petro of being an illegal drug dealer and failing to stop the production of cocaine in his country. According to reports, Trump's decision to cut aid will further strain one of Washington's closest security alliances in Latin America. Colombia has been a major recipient of U.S. aid over the years, receiving around $14 billion since the turn of the century. The aid has been used to combat drug cartels and Marxist insurgents, but it seems that Trump is now re-evaluating this partnership. The tension between the two nations has been escalating in recent months. In September, Trump decertified Colombia as a partner in the effort to combat the drug trade, placing it in the same category as countries like Venezuela and Afghanistan. This move was seen as a significant blow to Colombia's reputation and its relationship with the U.S. Petro has been pursuing a policy of total peace since taking office in 2022, which involves negotiating with guerrillas and private armies of drug traffickers rather than using military force. However, this approach has yet to yield significant results, and cocaine production in Colombia continues to soar. It's worth noting that the U.S. attack on a submarine in the Caribbean, which Trump claimed was carrying illegal drugs, has also contributed to the tension between the two nations. Petro has accused the U.S. of committing a murder in the vessel attacks, and the situation remains volatile. As we try to make sense of this complex issue, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and avoid taking sides. The relationship between the U.S. and Colombia is multifaceted, and there are valid arguments on both sides. While Trump's decision to cut aid may be seen as a necessary measure to address the cocaine problem, others argue that it will only exacerbate the situation and harm innocent people. As we close out today's show, I want to encourage you to stay informed about this developing story and its implications for global politics and international relations. It's crucial to engage in respectful dialogue and consider the nuances of this complex issue. That's all for today's Barbaras Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged. That's all for today's Barbaras Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.